Hello, welcome back to algebra class. Today we're going to be talking about horizontal and vertical lines. Our objective for today is to be able to recognize and graph horizontal and vertical lines. There's some information that I kind of have to give to you right now, and that will help us on the rest of our notes here. So a horizontal line, the graph of a horizontal line, always looks like a flat line. The equation of a horizontal line is always going to be y equals some number. The slope of a horizontal line is always going to be 0. On the other hand, we have vertical lines. A vertical line always takes the form of a straight up and down line. The equation for a vertical line is x equals a, which a is just some number. The slope is going to be undefined. Let's go ahead and look at a few examples. So what is the slope of the following line? So on our first example, we just have y equals some number. So if we have y equals some number, we know that it is going to be a flat line like so. If we have a flat line, we know that the slope of a flat line is 0. Here we have both a y and an x, so this takes the form of y equals mx plus b. And in this situation, the m is our slope, which in this case is -3. So I would say m equals -3. On our next case, we have just x equals some number, which means that we have a straight up and down line. And the slope of a straight up and down line is always going to be undefined. Next up, it says the following equations are what type of line. So if I have x equals some number, I know that that's going to be a straight up and down line, which is also called a vertical line. So it's vertical. Here I have a y equals mx plus b equation again. And if I have a y equals mx plus b equation, I know that that is going to have a slope to it, so it's going to look something like this. And if we have a diagonal line, that's actually going to be called an oblique line. And I know that we haven't really talked about that much, and honestly, we won't really talk too much about it, but it's just something nice to know. Here, I have y equals some number, which if I have that, I know that I'm going to have a flat line like this, which is called a horizontal line. Okay, let's look at our next example. So here we have write an equation for each problem. So if I know that my slope on this first equation is 0, I know it's going to look like this. If a line has a slope of 0, I know that's going to be y equals some number. So y equals some number. In this case, I look at what my y value is. Remember, this is my x, that's my y. In this case, my y value is 8, so it's going to be y equals 8. My next example, they don't give me a slope. However, they do give me 2 points, so I can actually find the slope based off those 2 points. So All I got to do is stack and slide. Don't forget to put the minus sign in between your two numbers every time. 6 minus negative 5 is going to be positive 11. 7 minus 7 is 0. That means my slope is undefined. If I have an undefined slope, it's going to look like this. Undefined slopes always have to do with x. And if I look, both of these situations, the x values, which are right here, are both 7. So in this case, I know that x has to equal 7. We have just a couple more examples here, so let's go ahead and look at those. Here it says to graph the equation. I know that's going to be y equals 5. So I'm going to look on my y-axis, and I'm going to put a dot right at 5. And I remember that if I have a y equals some number, it's always going to be a flat line. So I'm just going to draw a nice flat line right at y equals 5. Our next one, we have x equals negative 3. So this is my x-axis. So I'm going to put a dot at negative 3. And I know that anytime I have x equal to some number, it's always going to be a straight up and down line. So I'm going to draw a straight up and down line. Our next example, I have a straight up and down line. I know that always has to do with my x value. And in this case, where does it cross at? It crosses right here at 4. So I'm all done there. My next problem, I have a horizontal line, so I know that's going to be y equals some number. And in this case, it crosses at negative 6, so it's y equals negative 6. I am all done for today. Have a great day. I'll see you guys next time.